Hello everyone, I am Be Better Gamer and welcome to Be Better Gamer Wrestling, your place for Let's Plays of WWF No Mercy, WCW NW Revenge, Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, and, like today's episode, WWE 2K16. Today I'm going to be talking about my reactions to TLC 2015 and also NXT Takeover London. The live event special that NXT did in London. I'm doing both in one episode because, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I only want to speak about certain matches and certain plot points. I did 3 TLC 2015 predictions video. I split them up separately, and I did 1 full NXT TakeOver predictions video. So I'm going to combine all that into my reactions. I really enjoyed NXT TakeOver London, although I have a lot less to say about that than I do WWE TLC event. So the first match that I'm going to be playing while I talk about the TLC 2015 results is the Kevin Owens Dean Ambrose Intercontinental Championship, the only one that I got wrong in my 3 TLC predictions video. I predicted the New Day was going to win the ladder match, and in my opinion that was the best match of the night. I mean, it goes without saying. Kalisto's Salida del Sol stole the show, and it highlighted, to me at least, it highlighted that we kind of need to do away with these gimmick pay-per-views, because what happens is you have all these matches that have to be gimmick matches because that's what the pay-per-view is about. There was no real reason for the New Day, Lucha Dragons, and the Usos to be in this TLC match, okay? If you look back at when the TLC match first was created, it was organically created from a feud between the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian, dating back when they did their ladder match to win Terry Runnels' managerial services, if you will. And then when the Dudleys got involved, the Dudleys challenged the Hardys to a table match, and then Edge and Christian were using chairs all the time, and then they had a big 3-way ladder match at WrestleMania, and then they were like, all right, let's put it all together, ladders, tables, and chairs. So it was a culmination of a big feud where they were already using gimmicks because it was a part of their characters. So that's why you got the TLC, and same thing with like Hell in a Cell and all these things. Whenever they originally were created, it was to end a feud. The cage match, especially. The cage match. You put the cage because the bad guy, he couldn't escape from the good guy. There was nowhere he could run, and that's why you had a cage match. So what's the point? Well, the point is now we're at a time period where we know every year we're gonna have a TLC match. So we know we're gonna get a bunch of these gimmick matches, but there's no real personal reason for these guys to be facing these, having these matches. Why does Alberto Del Rio need to have a chairs match with Jack Swagger? Like, has their feud always been based around chairs? No. So it's the only one that really made sense realistically was the ECW team versus the Wyatts having a tables match because that's their specialty. But again, when you have no build-up, no personal build-up, and everything's just gimmicks, you put people in like the Lucha Dragons, like New Day, like the Usos, they're probably going to steal the show, and that's going to hurt your main event. And I think it did hurt the main event. I mean, it's been like this the past few TLCs and other gimmick pay-per-views. You have an undercard match that's also doing the same type of match that the main event's going to do, and the undercard's going to be a lot better because there's going to be a lot more creativity involved, because it's not really about forwarding the feud, it's about showcasing high spots. And I mean, Kalisto doing that Salida del Sol off the top of the ladder, there was a lot of other great spots in that match, but that's it. I was like, that's it, the pay-per-view peaked. This is it. Nothing's gonna top that match. And I honestly think nothing did top that match. I was very surprised that Kevin Owens lost to Dean Ambrose. My whole wild, crazy prediction, which I still think is awesome, was that Kevin Owens was going to be interrupted by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was going to interfere, attack Kevin Owens, and then we were going to bring the the feud back to NXT and finish off that saga. Obviously, they didn't do that. Kevin Owens and Ambrose had a straight match, which is kind of ironic considering the fact that maybe these two guys should have been put in some sort of gimmick match, but they didn't, and they still had a fine wrestling match. I mean, they're both very talented wrestlers in general, so of course they're going to have a very solid wrestling match. I just thought it was very interesting. It's not the direction I wanted to go in, because I knew that if they were going to go in that direction, they're just really doing it to keep Ambrose out of Roman Reigns' spotlight. And that's something I'm going to talk about in a little bit too, with him and Roman Reigns and their relationship. But you just know that the feud, and that's why I didn't want to like record this right after Raw. I mean, right before Raw. I wanted to wait a week, let it digest, see what happens on Raw, see what happens on SmackDown, and already Ambrose and Kevin Owens, they're going back, going back at it, if you will. Kevin Owens wants his title back, obviously. He gets his rematch, which he'll probably get at Royal Rumble. But it looks like they're trying to insert Ziggler into the feud, so maybe they'll do a Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose. And I think the whole reason why they're putting Ziggler in it is so they can give him something to do, because he's not winning the Rumble this year. So that's going to make a lot of people upset. He probably won't even win the IC title, because honestly, I don't see Kevin Owens not going into WrestleMania as the IC champion. I think he's going to be the IC champion by the time WrestleMania rolls around. This gives him something to do. This gives Ambrose something to do. I get that. I don't know. I feel like Ambrose should still be in the world title picture. I know he, wouldn't be challenging his buddy Roman Reigns, but he lost one match at Survivor Series, so now he's not going to go after the world title anymore. He's going to go after... Don't even get me started. But, I mean, let's talk about the main event real quick. Let's talk about Sheamus and Roman Reigns. I had predicted that Sheamus was going to win. I told a lot of people that, and a lot of people were like, no, Roman Reigns better win. And I was like, yeah, you want Roman Reigns to win, but he's not going to win. Now, again, this is why I didn't want to do this episode directly after TLC and put it up right before Raw, because I couldn't even have predicted the events that were going to occur on Raw, which completely undercut everything that happened at TLC. And this is a thing that WWE's been doing a lot of recently. Even in this past year, there's been a lot of these events where someone, they build up this big feud and something happens, and then at the event you finally have the payoff, and the next night on Raw they do something that kind of just like unravels all of it, like Ziggler getting the IC title from The Miz and then like losing it the next night on Raw. Is like, that makes no sense. You've just been building this up for a whole month and a half, and then all of a sudden you're just gonna have him drop it right after that. So I didn't think that was gonna happen with Sheamus and Roman Reigns. I wanted Sheamus to keep the title, because I felt that by keeping Sheamus on the title, you're doubling down on the fact that you're putting the title on a heel, and you're giving Roman something to work towards. Something, it's not gonna be an easy ride back to the top. He turned his back on Triple H. So Triple H is gonna, make it hard for him. It's like, look, you should have joined me. I don't know why you didn't join me. I would have made things so much easier for you, but now you're not. So whatever. Like, don't come crawling back, for your opportunity. And this is the guy I'm going with. I'm going with Sheamus now. You could have been the guy. I wanted you to be the guy, but you chose not to be the guy. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how that all plays out. I'm of the opinion that I don't think Roman Reigns should have won the World Heavyweight Championship on the next night at Raw. I know a lot of people were very excited with how TLC ended, and I get that. I get why people are excited. This is the Roman Reigns they wanted to see. They wanted to see Roman Reigns unleashing the fury, unleashing his aggression, and just no holds barred, knocking people out left and right. But hasn't he been doing that all year? I find, I found it very strange how excited people got at the end of TLC. After he lost the match, they were like, yeah, this is him. He's finally popular. Like, people have been booing him since last year, the Royal Rumble, because they felt like he's been getting pushed to the top too fast. And, he's not ready. They're forcing him down our throats. And, if he wins against Brock Lesnar, we'll riot and all this stuff. And at the end of TLC, when he lost, rightfully so, because he got cheated out, he should have lost that way. That's how I predicted he was going to lose. Triple H comes out, and Roman Reigns attacks Triple H. Now, again, why is he attacking Triple H? What did Triple H do? Triple H didn't screw him out of the title. The League of Nations screwed him out of the title. For whatever reason, I still don't understand why the League of Nations are together. Otherwise, the fact that they're all, wrestlers from other countries. So WWE still thinks in that 80s old school way. If they're from another country, they're a bad guy. But Triple H gave Roman Reigns the opportunity to join him, and he didn't. And instead of just saying, nah, I'm good, Roman Reigns speared him, okay? Completely uncalled for, completely unprovoked. I'm not taking Triple H's side, but Triple H didn't really do anything like a heel did. Like, Triple H is not like with Daniel Bryan. They didn't want Daniel Bryan to be champion. They told him, you're a B+ player. You're not the face of WWE. But Triple H, leading up to Survivor Series, was like, hey, look, Seth Rollins was my plan A, but you know what? You were the plan B. You just didn't have that killer instinct in you. That's why I went with Seth Rollins. But you know what? He's gone. You can be my man. And Roman Reigns was like, no, I got pride. I'm going to do it on my own. Triple H, after he won it all by himself. Triple H didn't screw him out of that victory. He won it all by himself. But Roman Reigns once again refused to be with me. He's like, all right, you refuse to be with me? Fine. Then I'm going to go with Sheamus. So his beef should be with Sheamus. Sheamus was the one who took the title away from him. It's Roman Reigns' fault that he's in the position he's in. If you think about it, if you really do think about it, it's his own fault. But for him to attack Triple H like that and everyone to get excited about it, the whole thing I was thinking about was long term. What does this mean long term? Okay, like right away, right after TLC ended, I was like, so Triple H, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania, huh? Like, this is what's gonna happen. But even then, okay, obviously Roman Reigns has to go over on Triple H, and then he'll get his title shot. What's the end result when Roman Reigns gets the title back? What happens next? They want to push Roman Reigns as this big baby face, but what happens next after Roman Reigns gets his championship? That's what I was thinking when TLC was ending. He was attacking Triple H. I was like, all right, the next night they'll fire him, and then we'll go through this whole big thing of him maybe doing like how the Shield used to do, him doing run-ins and attacking people. Maybe they'll try to stack the deck against Ambrose, and then Roman Reigns will come out of nowhere, help Ambrose win, and then security and Triple H and everyone will try to chase Roman Reigns. Maybe they'll do that for a few weeks until Triple H gets frustrated and he decides to have a match with Roman Reigns, and if Roman Reigns can beat him, then he'll get his place back in the company. And and then they gave him the title the next night on Raw. And I was really shocked by that, because I felt like it jumped the gun. It also why not just have him win the title at TLC? What? And so he beats up Triple H. So they come out and they talk about it, okay? Stephanie McMahon calls Roman Reigns to talk about it. Instead of saying right away, you're fired, you're not allowed. Hey, let's talk about it. You beat up my husband. He doesn't want me to fire you. That's what she says. He doesn't want me to fire you, but I know someone who will. It's my dad, blah, blah, blah. You all know the story. He interrupts R-Truth's and Bo Dallas's match, and it's like, come on, that's a dream match. You're missing. No, it's not. And they talk it out. Sheamus comes in like, no, don't fire him. I'll put my title on the line to beat him up. Like how stupid is that? You just won a hard fought, and I'm not taking any credit away from Sheamus and Roman Reigns' TLC match. I enjoyed it. Again, it's hard, they put the Usos and New Day and Luchas at the beginning because they knew that was going to be such a great match. So hopefully by the end it died down and the fans just wanted to hate that match. And by the end of it, before all the Triple H thing happened, they were getting into it. Because they really did go out there, they busted their ass, and they gave a solid, strong style kind of match where they just beat the crap out of each other, and that was really nice to see. And that's what you should see from two guys like that, and especially Sheamus. You should see him. He's this big tough heel that people forget how big and tough he is. They should go with that further. But then to have him the next night just casually offer his title back into the grasp of Roman Reigns, and they don't even stack the deck against him in that match. I mean, they basically just try to do the same thing they did the night before, but there's no ladders and tables and chairs, and Vince McMahon gets Superman punched for no reason, and Roman Reigns spears Sheamus. He makes it look easy. And that's the thing that troubles me. It's what's the long-term gain? It took Austin so long to finally get his comeuppance against Vince McMahon. And when he finally got it, it was satisfying. And then he was able to go on and focus and go after the World Heavyweight title. And Daniel Bryan, look how long. We went all the way from SummerSlam to WrestleMania for Daniel Bryan to get that world title. Okay, Roman Reigns won the world title at Survivor Series, and 1 month later he wins it again. Like, what's the end goal of this? Why is he just gonna get stripped of the title on Monday? He should. Theoretically, that's what should happen next, right? So he should have gotten fired because he attacked Triple H because he was a sore winner. And then the next night, not only does he, not get fired, but he gets another title shot and he punches the owner of WWE and wins the title. So you mean to tell me this heel group, the Authority, their best plans is just to give him title opportunities, and then when he beats them up, there's no recourse of action? If Roman Reigns doesn't get fired at Monday Night Raw, then I don't know where they're going with Roman Reigns as champion. I understand they want him to be this big babyface champion. I get it. But honestly, it's, how ironic that the fans in Philly were cheering and standing on their feet, and then there was this YouTube video where Roman Reigns is like, you guys, taught me a lot, blah, blah, blah. 1 year later, I've worked hard, and now you guys are cheering me. And I get that, but honestly, people were booing him for all the wrong reasons this whole year anyway. Roman Reigns was always busting his ass. I understood that people didn't want him as champion, but you didn't have to boo him out the door because the dude went in there. He was always putting on tremendous work. I'm a fan of Roman Reigns. I've always have been. I'm not a fan of the direction they're going in right now with him as a champion because I don't see the end game. And I don't see how the end game is going to keep people interested when you have Roman Reigns demolishing everyone that goes in his way. He's the babyface. He's supposed to be chasing after the title. He's supposed to be having obstacle after obstacle, keeping him from getting what he wants. You give him the title, so what? So that means we're gonna go Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar too. People saying it's not gonna happen, but this is telling me even more so it's gonna happen, because if Roman Reigns has the title, there's no way he's losing it at Royal Rumble. If they do strip him of the title, he'll probably get a title shot at Royal Rumble anyway because the Authority is so stupid. Unless they really are setting up something with him and Triple H, but they wouldn't have Triple H wrestle before WrestleMania. So my money is on when Lesnar comes back. He's coming back at the Rumble. He's winning the Rumble, and you'll probably get Lesnar Roman too. Cause I don't know. That's the best they could come up with. It would be a lot more interesting if Roman Reigns didn't get the title as easily as he did, but whatever. Let me get off TLC 2015. It was an okay pay-per-view, to sum it up. I wasn't happy with a lot of the creative stuff with the World Heavyweight title picture, but everything else was fine. I enjoyed it. As for what it was worth, I knew it was going to be a transition pay-per-view. into the Royal Rumble and into, basically now the build up to WrestleMania. Where they're going for that, I don't know. But NXT Takeover London, once again, beautiful live event. NXT just on every level, and this wasn't like one of their best. Okay, I'm not gonna say it was bad because it definitely wasn't, but it was just a solid event. You can tell this was a transitional event as well because nothing major really happened or developed, and they just made a lot of people look good. They advanced a lot of storylines, and you can kind of see where the bigger picture is going to be, and for their next big takeover event, and then also probably for their big takeover event around WrestleMania weekend. So I was right on every single one of my predictions except for the NXT Women's Championship match. I predicted that Nia Jax was going to beat Bayley. Bayley won. She looked strong as a champion. That was probably my favorite match, actually, of the event. They were all really good. It's hard to say. I loved seeing Samoa Joe and Finn Balor. I kind of wanted it to go a little bit longer, but in terms of storytelling and advancing characters, I think the women's championship match did the best job because it had me fooled. I was expecting Nia Jax to go in and dominate, and just completely show up the champion, but Bayley once again showed that fighting spirit and also showed that Nia Jax is still young and she's a rookie, and Bayley is a seasoned veteran, so she was able to take advantage of that and turn up that mean streak that we've seen her create as she made her way up to the NXT Women's Championship. Fantastic stuff. Very subtle stuff, but fantastic stuff. The London crowd was fantastic. They were into it the whole night, and that's what you want to see. You look at the London crowd compared to the TLC crowd, big difference. Big difference. And a lot of it has to do with the in-ring product. But, the NXT crowds are always so passionate because they're invested in every single character that's in NXT. Every single match on that card you were invested in. You wanted to see Asuka kick the crap out of Emma. You wanted to see two big, badass dudes, as in Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, go at it. You wanted to see Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, get their revenge on Dash and Dawson. You wanted to see all that. You wanted to see Finn Balor defend his title against the man who turned his back on him. All that stuff counted. All that stuff mattered because they take their time to develop these characters. Like I said, I predicted everything right. I knew Dash and Dawson. I didn't know. I just predicted. I just ended up being right. But I wanted to see Dash and Dawson win. I think Chad Gable and Jason Jordan are going to make a run for the titles next. Probably at the next TakeOver event. They'll probably have a big match. I kind of want to see Jordan and Gable win, but then you're going to have to bring Enzo and Cass back, and they also have to get their revenge in some way against Dash and Dawson, so that story's not over, and Gable and Jordan are looming in the wings. Asuka, like I predicted in my video, she had a little moment with Nia Jax before Bayley's match, so I definitely see Asuka going up against Nia Jax. I thought Nia Jax would be the champion, but who knows? Who who will challenge Bayley next for the title? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be one of those two. It's either going to be Nia Jax again or it's going to be Asuka. And that was a great match, Asuka against Emma. You had Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin. So I'm doing Baron Corbin and Finn Balor right now because I predicted Baron Corbin was going to win. I thought he should win because they've been, always building him up with this really strong, badass heel. And then he always loses these big matches. He lost to Samoa Joe at Brooklyn, and he's lost to Finn Balor in the past. And I just felt like, Apollo Crews is new. He won't be damaged by a loss, and it'll make him human. It won't make him seem, where Finn Balor is right now. Finn Balor just looks like he can't lose a match. Even as regular Finn Balor or Demon Finn Balor, he's just untouchable. And I didn't want that to happen with Apollo Crews because Apollo Crews is a little bit more relatable in terms of his personality. and I would like to see him being that champion who chases, who is this big athletic guy, but there's a lot more that he has to find within himself to win the championship. Balor's got that demon, he's got his dark side, so that's he's out there to Sami Zayn had to find it. It took him a long time to find it. But I don't think that's done. I think Cruz and Corbin is not done, but I think Corbin now is the #1 contender, obviously, because he beat Cruz. And it's funny because someone told me that he actually cut a promo that he was the #1 contender. I was like, yeah, it makes sense. He should challenge Finn Balor. Samoa Joe and Balor are not done. I felt like that main event was just a taste of what's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if Samoa Joe challenges Balor without his demon armor, if you will. Samoa Joe just seems like that kind of character right now. He's like, you know what, I could beat you if you don't bring that stupid face paint to the and that's gonna be key too with Finn Balor's feud with Baron Corbin, because honestly I would like to see Finn Balor face Corbin for the title, but I don't want to see Finn Balor bring out the paint. I kind of want to see a chink in the armor with Finn Balor where he does get too cocky, he does get too arrogant in the position he's in, and maybe he underestimates Baron Corbin and Baron Corbin puts him to the limit. I think that will also help put Baron Corbin on the map in terms of the big badass heels you got to watch out for in NXT, and it doesn't feel forced, it feels organic. Because I like Baron Corbin. I think he's got a lot of upside to him. I don't think Baron Corbin is going to survive the feud against Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor is going to stay champion until Hideo Itami comes back. And Hideo Itami takes the title off of him, because it was Finn all along who attacked Hideo Itami. I'm sticking with that theory, man. That's an awesome theory, but I do think Hideo Itami is going to be one of the key people that might take off the title. I mean, it also looks like they want to come back to Apollo Crews and Finn Balor, but again, they kind of want that Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville kind of thing. It's gonna take them both have to go down different journeys and different paths, and then eventually they'll come together again and meet, and it'll be awesome. NXT is always awesome. I love the NXT Takeover London event. I thought it was a solid event. I was into every match. I'm always into it. They just get it right on so many levels. I don't feel like I'm frustrated after I watch it, with some of the creative and things like that. Yeah, it's not perfect, but you know what? It's wrestling. It's good wrestling, and that's why I still watch wrestling, is for shows like NXT TakeOver London. So there you go. Those are my reactions for TLC 2015 and the TakeOver London special. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts were. We'll keep talking until Royal Rumble. I'm sure I'll have some prediction videos for that as well. So I hope you like this video. Leave a like, leave a subscription. Leave a subscription, subscribe, leave a comment, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep watching wrestling, and thank you for watching Be Better Gamer Wrestling.